Tyson Woolsey, a dominant paint player for Broken Bow. Cothran, just an all-around great athlete, fantastic basketball player. Already has a state championship ring for a freshman year over at Idabel. Looking for an add to that this year. And there's Katie Rogers, senior. Hey, congratulations to Katie Rogers. And now it's an honor graduate, the Broken Bow Honor Graduates. Excessive GPA, over 4 point, and actually I think maybe over 5 point on that if you go by the 5 point system. And so Katie Rogers, a smart basketball player, but smart in the classroom as well. One of the two seniors on that team. And also, well, in case I forget, congratulations to Sky Baker as well for the boys varsity team, starter on that team, but also an honor graduate. And they are lining up at midcourt, about to tip things off on this Saturday. A 1 o'clock game, and here we go. Hey, controlled by the Lady Cats as they quickly bring it down just across the timeline, and Cothran playing right in the face, and I believe that's Miller. And close by Katie Rogers defensively. You see this defense, just kind of a smothering defense, not really giving a look at the basket and not giving much of a passing lane. And so that was actually tipped and stolen. Cothran on the run, has one defender, goes up, misses the shot. Good job getting back, but does commit the foul, and that will send Jayla Cothran to the free throw line. 7.5 minutes left. Oh, actually it won't. I'm sorry. That did go out of bounds off of Cothran. I thought that was a foul. It was just a whistle for the stoppage of play as the ball went down. So a good hustle by the Lady Cats. Lady Savages in the full court press, not letting up on the pressure, trying to get a steal or create a time violation, almost blocked on the pass. Now it's Smith defensively, as Lady Cats do get across the timeline, but then it's stolen by Cothran. Oh, no-look pass down low. Ball's up, and again, shot's not accurate. Goes off the bottom. Again, hustle by defense, or hustle on defense by the Lady Cats. That's going to be Soto. And denied a look at the bucket, and wisely chooses not to try to shoot over Woolsey. Now out to the wing, and then back around the horn, center court, and out to the near wing to Combs. Combs gets it out to to Williams. Williams shot no good. Rebound by Soto, however. Possession is retained by Atoka. By Madill. Yeah, they're both Lady Cats. Anyway, Madill still not at 0, already a minute and a half into it. And so there's a pass down low. Soto struggled for the ball, tied up. Possession arrow in favor of Broken Bow. Lady Savages will inbound. Good hustle on the loose ball by Cothran. Lady Savages will, nice post up. Tyson Woolsey, first to score, breaks that scoring ice. 2-0 Broken Bow. And here's a quick timeout, as maybe players look like you might got poked in the eye or something. Looks like one of their players is having some difficulty. So timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. You're watching Broken Bow Lady Savage basketball on the Broken Bow YouTube channel. Back in 15.
Call Jennifer Broaddus, State Farm agent in Broken Bow today.
Welcome back. Slow scoring start for both teams. Madill. Sorry about that mistake. Madill still scoreless. Lady Savages only have 2. Low post field goal by Tyson Woolsey. Just over 2 minutes into the game. 5:59 left first period. Looks like they have a little moisture on the court. They'll have to clean up. Again, thanks to the sponsors you see there on your screen. Appreciate their support of Broken Bow Athletics. And here's a long three-point shot, and rims out, rebound Woolsey. First of what are probably many rebounds for that young student athlete. Here's Rogers out on the wing, back to Woolsey. Woolsey fighting inside, kicks it back out. Cawthron for three. Cawthron bucket. Jalen Cawthron, just a smooth shot. Nice job finding the open shooter. And she did the rest. 5-0 Lady Savages. Oh, pressure on the side. Great defense over there by Cawthron. Gets another steal. Looking, drives it. Oh, the fake pass by Cawthron, and she draws the foul. Looked like she kind of stuck an arm out like she was going to get it to Hightower down there, and then kept the ball, went up for the lay-in. Doesn't get it to fall, but does draw the foul. That's going to be the first team foul. That will be on Williams, number 12. Her first team foul, so obviously. And here is a good, smooth free throw by Cawthron. Lady Savages to 6, chance to make it 7, and does not, but great rebound inside Woolsey, and she draws a foul. That'll be the second team foul against Madill, and that will send Tyson Woolsey to the free throw line. That foul is on number 20, that's Miller. Her first. Smooth free show, good free throw. Lady Savages, well, it's both teams. The Lady Savages had some problems for the free throw line, having a good start. Looks like that one falls, but there's a tip by Cawthron. Winds up in the hands of Rogers. Back to Cawthron. 3 on the way. Long rebound. Pulled down by Woolsey, her first offensive board. And here's Rogers. Throws it outside of Woolsey. Inside to Smith. Back outside. Hightower for 3. Hightower buries it. Great shooting start for Broken Bow, as they have either put the bucket through the hoop or drawn a foul on their last 4 shots from the field. As a result, they lead 10-0. There's a pull up, open shot. Little short, hits the front of the rim, bounces in the hands of Katie Rogers. As the honor student brings it up, kicks it out down to Smith in the corner, into Woolsey. Woolsey driving along the baseline, throws it out to the side. 3-pointer on the way. That one does not find purchase. It bounces once and gets into the hands of Miller. And now great hustle as Smith somehow, oh wow, had a toe over the line. Tired of toeing the line, but she just a great effort to save it, but not all the way in bounds. And so it will be Madill basketball, pass inside Williams. As she kicks it out to Rogers. And then down in the corner to Miller, to Williams. Tries to drive, gets it. Oh, nice drive down the baseline. Has a bit of an open shot, but fight for the rebound. Winds up in the hands of Madill. Get it to Coles. Coles bounce pass out to the top of the key, and they'll reset the offense. Still scoreless. Here's a shot, and that was a little over. Oh, nice save. Good hustle. 3-pointer on the way. That one bounces twice. And that a kind top of the backboard comes straight back down, and that's a 3. As Lady Cats now on the board with 3. And Cawthron drives, gets her own rebound, puts it back up and draws the foul. That's going to be the 3rd team foul. And that will send Jalen Cawthron back to the free throw line. It was 1 of 1 on her last trip. And it looked like as she shoots these free throws, looked like the other 4 starters are going to get some coaching. As nice smooth shot from Cawthron, but get some coaching from Coach Toby Bean. Seems they needed a point emphasized there. Here's second free throw, also finds purchase in the net after a brief rest on the rim. 12-3 Broken Bow. Cawthron now has 6 points, a tray, and 3 free throws. Here's a drive. Well, no, not a drive. Good defense tonight. There's a long 3, and it's a little bit too long. Drive inside as Miller throws it up. Miller gets it in to fall. Chloe Miller with the 2-pointer. Gets her team to 5. Hightower going to bring it up for Broken Bow. Hightower to the free throw line. Gets it to Smith. Smith driving. Smith stops, pulls up, shoots, does not fall. Oh, great rebound as comes flying in. Cawthron came flying in from the outside. Got a rebound and the putback. She now has 8 points. And there's still over 2.5 minutes left in the first period. pressure defense by Broken Bow, thrown down. Now it's a 2-on-2 opportunity. And almost stolen by Cawthorn, as Madill will set it back up. Miller. And they kick it back to the Savage head. Smith defensively for Broken Bow, closely guarding. Not giving a look from the three-point line. But down to Miller on the wing, inside Soto. Shot on the way, off the glass, off the rim, and into the hands of Genesis Smith. Smith all the way to the other side. Oh, nice pass from Smith inside, and a layoff, not off the glass, and the rim kicks it back out into the hands of Madill. So Woolsey's layup, or hook shot actually, no good. And they're going to set it back up with 1:40 left. 14-5, 9-point lead for the Lady Savages. They led 10-0 at one point. Been pretty even scoring since then. Here's Soto back outside, three-point shot on the way. It's going to be a little long and into the hands of Woolsey. Another rebound for Tyson Woolsey as she quickly gets it to Cawthorn. Cawthorn bringing it up. Looked like a little bit of a screen. Yeah, look at Woolsey, and Cawthorn has a good look from the top of the key. Shot's a little bit off to the left, hits the side of the rim and bounces off the glass and into the hands of Madill. A little over a minute left, and here's a ball on the floor, somehow saved, and possession retained by Madill. They may play for the final shot. They probably don't want to continue this pace. And it looks like that's what they're going to do. Maybe bleed the clock down to about 15 seconds left before they try to shoot it. Let's see if the Savage, unless the Lady Savages put pressure defensively on them. But the Lady Savages content to try to force them to take a bad shot. Oh, there's a baseline move, pop up, and stolen by Woolsey, and then tapped out of bounds. Woolsey and Coles fighting over that rebound. Woolsey actually got the rebound, and then immediately it was hit by Coles and off of Woolsey and goes out of bounds. So now with 30 seconds left in the first period, it will be Madill. Oh, just bounces. And Hightower had literally, that's the design play, has her back to the baseline. So with the 5 seconds about to expire, she just bounced it off the back of Hightower. Little comic looking play, but a smart play for Madill. Down, bounce pass, Soto's turnaround jumper is nice move by Soto under the basket. Or sorry, that was Miller, not Soto, but 14-7 football score. Here's the three-pointer, Hightower, that's way off. And now with 7 seconds left, Lady Savages got to try to steal the ball. It's tied. Possession arrow is in favor of Madill. They'll have to inbound it with 4.3 seconds left. Looking to inbound again, you'd notice a little bit of a different angle there. We are in a different spot in this gymnasium. 3-2, that's not going to get off. Well, after one period of play, it is Lady Savages 14, Lady Cats 7. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. You're watching Broken Bow Lady Savage Basketball on the Broken Bow YouTube channel.
Experience the charm of downtown Broken Bow and discover a wide variety of newly opened shops, tantalizing dining experiences, and an inviting lounge waiting to be explored. Whether you're shopping for unique finds, getting in a quick workout or sauna, or soaking in the lively atmosphere with some ice cream, our downtown area has everything you crave, completely revitalized. Embrace the excitement and let the heart of the community sweep you off your feet. Visit us today and ignite your senses in downtown Broken Bow.
Welcome back, Lady Savages. I would say in control of this one, as they led 10-0 in the early going, or about midway through, and then since that time it's been a pretty, I wouldn't call it a run, a 7-4 run technically, but Madill managed to stay in it. So for Broken Bow, it's going to be Cawthorn with 8 points, and then Woolsey and Hightower with 6 each, albeit by different method. Hightower from behind the three-point line, and Woolsey with a 2-point field goal and a free throw. Lady Cats talking over what they were to do. Well, one of the things that makes a huge difference is the press by Broken Bow defensively. I just don't know. There aren't a lot of teams that can keep up with that. But the way to do it is with accurate shooting and slowing the game down. There's a ball on the floor. I should say and hustle. And that's a tie ball. The possession arrow looks like it's in favor of Madill. And so they will inbound it. But there's the press again. Bill's had mixed success getting it past that press. And as you see there's a time violation. And so that's going to be Broken Bow ball. That's an example of great defense. And that results in a turnover, and Lady Savages with an opportunity to get the ball back and extend their lead. Here's a pass in. Oh, nice job off the play. That was straight a pass, a one touch, and one step by Rogers, and she puts it in the bucket. Great play off the inbound pass. Here come the Lady Cats. And they almost quickly back down defensively. Rogers almost got a steal there. Cawthron not going to let Cawthron tried to get in between the passer and recipient there. Got the ball loose for a second. Now Cawthron steals it. Cawthron one-on-one and go in for the easy layup. Jalen Cawthron with a steal and the score. She's now in double figures. And her team now has a double-digit lead, 18-7. Here's a block by Cawthron off the pass. Ball still in the backcourt. Time expiring, and they managed to get across the half-court line. Into the forecourt. Relentless defense by Broken Bow. That's Williams. As they rotate around looking for an open lane or an open player, not finding either yet. Oh, nice move inside, and now Williams throws it outside. Good shift by Hightower to cut off the baseline or any lane. And Genesis Smith now gets her opponent to pick up the dribble, and the errant pass goes out of bounds. That'll be Broken Bow's basketball. Again, I want to remark, I do this every game, or I certainly should do it every game, but just what good conditioning this team has to continue with that pressure defense for the time that they do it. It's taxing physically, but they are in very good condition, and so able to maybe just tire teams out. We'll see. Usually that shows up with more points added as you get closer to the halves, and that's a nice turnaround jumper by Cawthron. Continues to add to her total. Now at 14, extends the lead. Press is still on. Here they get it into the middle. And double team, long high pass, and then a one-touch pass taken out of the air by Woolsey. Now it's a 4-on-3 break for Broken Bow. Woolsey picks it up, shovel pass to Cawthron outside. Three-pointer on the way. Bucket! That's Cherry, I believe. Or Burris, sorry, that was Burris. Burris buries it from three. Great work with the ball outside as they had two passes to find the open shooter in the corner. We're going to stay right here. Talk about, well, that's a great shot. And Burris in for about 15 seconds and already in the scoring column. Becomes the fifth Lady Savage to put points on the board, 23-7. And so after that break, it was 14-7 at the end of the first period. Lady Savages in the midst of a 9-0 run. As that mid-half talk must have, I guess I could call it a mid-half talk anyway, between the first and second period, must have adjusted performance or adjusted attitudes or adjusted something, because Broken Bow is starting, well, I should say they're starting the second period like they started the first. They started the first with a 10-0 run and so far have started the second with a 9-0 run. And here's a pass, Rogers to Woolsey. Now she dribbles, hands off to Cawthron, and Cawthron had a travel called. I don't know if that was on Cawthron or Woolsey, but gets Madill the ball back. Press is still on. As Madill looking for an open player. Another big pass and another steal by Woolsey. Second in a row by Tyson Woolsey. thrown up for grabs. She grabbed it, pass inside, and there's a double team as the ball, that's going to be a foul. That's won't send Woolsey to the free throw line as we have, we're just 2 minutes or 3 minutes now into the. That's on Carter, her first. Anyway, but they reset the fouls at the period break, but that is a first foul, and that's almost stolen, and it is stolen. Yeah, that's Tyson Woolsey with 3 consecutive steals. Here's a pass, shot, nice job by Rogers from outside. Rogers, it was Burris with the tray before. There's a one-touch pass, and then it's Rogers nailing it from 3. And here's Rogers again with a pass down low. Give her an assist and give Cawthorn another 2 points. Pressure defense causing all kinds of havoc. Another steal. There's Burris to Cawthorn. Cawthorn pulls up, shoots it, and bucket. This is a remarkable display of defensive effort, and now they're going to quote call off the dogs as the Lady Savages have gone on a 17-0 run to start off this second period, and feel maybe time to ease up with the press. That was a great way to start. And keep in mind, that was in the first 4 minutes. 17 points in the first 4 minutes of that period. Here's Rogers driving inside in the paint, kicks it back out to Burris out in the corner. I think that's Smith from the corner, or is that Cawthorn? That's Cawthorn from the corner. Shot a little off the mark, bounces into the hands of Madill, and almost stolen again by Rogers. Now here's Cawthorn defensively. And sorry, that was Smith with the three-point shot earlier, not Cawthorn, but the ball's right at half court. If they step backwards, they may cross over the line and get a backcourt violation. Here's a low post and turnaround jumper against Woolsey, but does not fall and easily rebounded by Tyson. Who hands it to Cawthorn, and she'll bring the ball up. 31-7. Broken Bow's held Madill scoreless in this second period. Here's a leaner, no good. And there's a foul. I think that may be on Woolsey. That'll be her first. Nope, that's on Smith. That's her second. Just the first team foul by the Lady Savage this period. Madill also has one. Oh, Woolsey almost steals it again, and that may be a backcourt violation. Well, no, it changed hands, but it's going to be a travel call, I believe, when she rolled over. And so quick hands by Tyson Woolsey results in another turnover. Here comes Hightower. Pass in down low to Woolsey, but might have been, it either came out of Woolsey's hands or was knocked out. Quick hands by Madill. Good defense. I think that was Coles defensively. That's Coles down in the corner. Nice pass. And that was cut off. 3 Lady Savages just surrounded Miller as she tried to get down and was unable to do so. I say down into a shooting position somewhere in the paint. You don't see a lot of open shots in the paint. In fact, you don't see a lot of passes into the paint. This is a well-coached and aggressive, dynamic defense run by Broken Bow. And Burris defensively cutting off the path down the side, and now it's stolen again. Here's Cawthorn, and she's going to have an easy lay-in. Jalen Cawthorn with a scoop and the score. Man, adding to that total. Again, there's a minute and a half left, and Broken Bow has still held Madill scoreless in this second period. Putting on a defensive display and an offensive one to win. There's another steal by Cawthorn. Behind the back to herself. Wow, that was impressive. Cawthorn gets the ball and draws the foul. That's going to send her, well, maybe not to the free throw line. I think she shot it again, and I was going to say that was quick thinking by her to shoot as she was fouled, but good call by the officials. She was not in the act of shooting when she was fouled, and there isn't a continuation play in under these rules like there is in the NBA. Here is a nice pass to Woolsey. Doesn't manage to get it to fall. Rebound Madill. And there's a stiff arm against Hightower, and another steal by Cawthron. To Hightower, lay in, good. Cawthron, I think Cawthron has 6 steals so far in this game. Woolsey had 3 in a row. She has about 4 or 5. Both those young ladies working on double-doubles. Here's, again, they do not allow shot in the paint. That was blocked, partially blocked by Hightower. Cawthron with the scoop. Cawthron, coast to coast, another 2 points. Cawthron. That scorebook's going to look like a blackout bingo card with Jalen Cawthron's row next to it. 37 points, 30 points. A 30-point lead for Broken Bow, and Madill looking for the final shot, and it's probably going to be from behind the perimeter. And look like they're going to need to take it. And there's three-pointer on the way, does not make it. So Lady Savages have held Madill scoreless in the entire second period. They lead by 30. We'll take a break, have some words from our, well, wait a minute, we'll see. They're going to watch the cheerleaders perform. I don't see the dance team. I don't think they're going to perform at halftime, but appreciate the Savage cheerleaders. Savage cheer team, of course, a lot to cheer about here on this Saturday afternoon as their team is leading by 30 at half. We'll have some words from our sponsors and be back with second half action. You're watching Broken Bow Lady Savage Basketball on the Broken Bow Network.
I don't want our music part of a sonic museum. It can be remade, fresh, and dynamic at all times.
See and share our stories at togetherwe'remore.com.
I have found that the music that felt most important to me was a sense of being Choctaw. And I found that music that was coming out of that place felt more true to who I was. And interestingly, it felt to me that it also made more of an impact on other people.
See and share our stories at togetherwe'remore.com.
Still shopping rent to own and paying way too much? Stop. There's a better way. At Washburns, 95% of applicants are approved with no credit required financing. Real furniture, real appliances. Apply now at washburns.com.
Life insurance that meets your needs now for when they need it most. With help from your State Farm agent.
Call Jennifer Broaddus, State Farm agent in Broken Bow today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Get a quote today.
Well, welcome back, or welcome if you're just tuning in. Lady Savages getting ready to tip off the second half here against the Madill Lady Cats. And as you see on the scoreboard there, it has been basically all Broken Bow. It's been a tale of runs, as basketball often is, but Lady Savages jumped out to a 10-0 lead. And then Madill went on a little 7-4 run. It was 14-7 at the first period break, but after that, it's all been all Broken Bow as Lady Savages managed to throw up 23 points in the second period and hold the Lady Cats to none. Just a remarkable display of offensive defense. It's 37 points. By the way, that's not the, you think that 23 points. Keep in mind that 37 points on the board, they did that in the first period earlier this season. So this Lady Savage basketball team is capable of scoring quickly and often. Looks like about to tip off this second half. Hi, Chris Chandler here along with Micah Williston, and we're in a little bit of a corner here. Again, the Wi-Fi not working. I don't know if it's not working in the facility, but it's not working on the Elements, so we had to move the entire setup down here to the corner, so it's a little bit different angle than you're maybe accustomed to watching for these live streams, but the action on the floor is just as exciting, and second half promises to be just as exciting as the first, at least the early part of it. Again, if it's as high scoring as as that last period, you probably won't see these starters on the floor much after the halfway through this third period. Madill trying to change that, see what adjustments they make. That's the way to start the second half, although it's Hightower gets her second tray. She now has 8 points and gets her team to 40. Nice shot by Aubrey Hightower. See, the press is not on, but the defense is still relentless. Oh, nice lay-in, though. That was a one-touch, literally, as it was in and out of the hands quickly. And that's the first point. There's a steal, and quickly, or almost a steal, winds up back in the hands of Rogers. Rogers with the leaner. Katie Rogers, oh, does not fall. Keeps it alive, however. Goes out of bounds, though, and will be Madill basketball. Again, you talk about adjustments that you make at the half, and I don't know if the lady, I don't know if Brokenbow adjusted anything. That was a tremendous second period. Just say, play more of the same. Keep your focus and don't let up. Play a full ball game. But for Madill, they looking for answers, and I don't know if they find any against this Lady Savage defense. And we watch how closely, when the balls bounce, if you notice on that play, Hightower really just in the back pocket of the recipient right when they receive the ball. And that results in a lot of steals. Sometimes you're concentrating on getting the ball and not paying attention to the defender. And as soon as you touch it, if they knock it out of your hands, that may result in a steal. Here's a three-point shot, not good, pulled down by Woolsey. And she's dribbling into the paint and then quickly gets it to Hightower. Hightower drilled one from the top of the key earlier. Let's see if she gets open from the three-point arc again. She does. She shoots again. Different result this time, but rebound was grabbed by Woolsey and then knocked out of bounds by Coles. And so I should say the Lady Savages will retain possession. Here's the inbound pass. Woolsey in the paint, back to the defender, pulls up, kicks it back out. Rogers, good look at the basket. Shot's a little over, but winds up in the hands of Cawthron. Another offensive board by Broken Bow. Here's Cawthron, pulls back, fall-away jumper. Good, smooth shot as Cawthron sails it through the net. That's her 7th two-point field goal. She has 23 points, a couple of trays, and 3 free throws. 23 points by Jalen Cawthron. Still 5.5 minutes left in this third period. Here's a dribble inside and then picks up a double team to Coles. And then back out into the corner. Looking for help and crosses it. Oh, nice job in the paint. Now it's Williams. Williams goes to the floor, and oh no, I hope she's okay. She is. She called timeout. I think she was just on the ground, didn't want to travel, didn't want to get the ball tied up. And so, or maybe she did not call it. I thought she called a timeout, but it looks like it might have been a tie ball. And so possession arrow in favor of Madill. They'll inbound it. Bounce pass deflected by Rogers, and then scramble for the basketball results in the foul. think that's going to be, I think it resulted in a foul. Actually, it didn't. It was just out of bounds. Yeah, the foot was out of bounds when she touched the basketball. And so it will be Broken Bow basketball as Cawthron brings it up to Rogers. Katie Rogers to Hightower. Smith to Hightower. To Woolsey. Woolsey inside the key and gets the ball knocked away. That's a steal. Quick hands by the Lady Cats. Results in a turnover. As Miller working, gets it to Soda, back to Miller. And here's a drive inside, kicks it back out. And that looked like a one step too many by Coles and results in a turnover. Lady Savages get the ball back. Oh, crossover dribble, and it's Hightower in the paint. Hightower driving and does not get it to fall, but does draw the foul, and that's going to put Aubrey Hightower at the free throw line. Nice recognition that there was an open lane. And Hightower is so quick, she quickly, just aggressively went straight to the basket and managed to get a trip to this charity stripe. First shot off the front of the rim, no good. Second one now approaching, shots up, and that one's right through the bottom of the net. Hightower now with 9 points, which equals the team output of her opponent. Again, what a great defensive game this has been for Broken Bow. Coles, woo, across it, just couldn't keep, she tried to keep both feet inbound, or side not inbound, both feet in the front end of the court, but could not, and so that's a backcourt violation, Broken Bow basketball. Hightower, a nice pick by Cawthron. Hightower with the underhanded roll, and then a great rebound inside by Woolsey, and she gets fouled. That's going to be the second team foul. Not a shooting foul, but starting to add up. That is ball will be inbounded. Lady Savages had a really nice inbound play earlier where they just threw it in and had an immediate shot. Now they get it out to Rogers. Rogers gets her opponent in the air, then off the dribble. Oh, nice save, one-touch pass, three-point shot on the way. High rebound, pulled down. And coast to coast, tries to draw the foul, does not. Ball's stolen by Broken Bow. And here comes Genesis Smith with crossover. Smith driving in paint. Smith draws the foul and manages to keep her feet. I don't know. Maybe she signed up for gymnastics. Looked like she almost did a somersault there. Put her hands down and managed to keep from falling down. She does draw the foul. That's the third team foul. Still 3:16 left. And so starting to get in foul trouble here. Smith's first shot hits the bracket and bounces back out a little too long. No good. Second shot about to come. Smooth second shot. As Genesis Smith gets on the board. Here's a drive around, looking for an open lane, not finding one. Again, swarming defense, and it's Katie Rogers there defensively. Now down low, Coles comes across, and nice set shot. Bounces high, does not fall back through the hoop, and is rebounded again by Woolsey. That's at least her sixth. That's at least her sixth rebound. So I think she probably. Yeah, there's a nice feed, and that was from Smith to Woolsey, and she quickly, look at the quickness of Tyson Woolsey. She immediately elevated, laid it off the glass and in. Here's Coles. That goes off her foot and goes out of bounds, and I believe that's going to be Broken Bow basketball. Lady Savage, 2:20 left as they held 2:20 left, I should say, in the third period. Let me specify. Timeout on the floor. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well and see you in 15. You're watching Broken Bow Lady Savage basketball on the Broken Bow YouTube channel.
Still shopping rent to own and paying way too much? Stop. There's a better way. At Washburns, 95% of applicants are approved with no credit required financing. Real furniture, real appliances. Apply now at washburns.com.
And welcome back. Yeah, Brookabo still just a defensive force, as Lady Savages have only allowed 2 points thus far in the third period. Here's a pass down. Woolsey, oh, nice feed, nice finish. Tyson Woolsey, second straight field goal. And kind of the same play. Good feed to her in the paint, and she just has such a quick release and instinct. As that's a steal. Cawthron. Oh, and here's to Woolsey, 2-on-2 break. Slows it down, turnaround, and lays it off. Looking for the foul, doesn't get it. And again, I'm not saying there was a foul, but here's a three-point shot. Hightower buries it. Aubrey Hightower. Nice look by the gunner. And that's going to get Hightower into double figures. She now has 12 points. And gets her team past the half-century mark, 51-9. We're running away, and here's Cawthron with a steal, and that should be an easy layup for Jalen Cawthron. She now has 25 points. So at the quarter-century mark, and it's a rout. Again, Lady Savages, a heavy favorite coming into this ball game, but that's the way to play them. You say it's on a Saturday afternoon, weekend game. But they certainly have showed up. And there's a good rebound inside by Madill. That's tough to get. And now you'll see see some mass substitution as Lady Savages get the applause from the crowd as they leave the floor with half 100 plus on the scoreboard. Still in the third period, 46.8 seconds left. It's going to be Griffin. Back to Burris and outside. Griffin working back inside, and that's a one-handed lay-in. Nice shot by Anderson. Marshall. That was by Marshall. Been in the game 30 seconds and has 2 points in the book. 55-9. Lady Cats playing for the final shot, and there's a steal. 6 seconds, lots of time. Lay-in is good. Nice steal, nice scoop and score as Griffin. That's her name, so great finish. Coaching staff has to be happy with that as you come off the bench and two individuals put 2 points on the board in the span of 30 seconds. A lot to cheer about here. You see the nice crowd here for Broken Bow. As a lot to be proud of here. 8 minutes left in this one. And Broken Bow running away with it, 57-9. We'll have a quick break, have a word from one of our sponsors. We'll be right back. You're watching Broken Bow Lady Savage basketball on the Broken Bow YouTube channel.
I have found that the music that felt most important to me was a sense of being Choctaw. And I found that music that was coming out of that place felt more true to who I was. And interestingly, it felt to me that it also made more of an impact on other people.
See and share our stories at togetherwe'remore.com.
Welcome back. You see the Lady Savage starters taking a well-deserved rest as they have dominated. And as a result, there's a 52-point lead for Broken Bow. And here's some young student athletes that have also contributed to that total. I hope to continue to in this last 8 minutes. And Madill, little mishandled the ball, and that's going to be a quick turnover. Quickly brought up Marshall, and now it's going to be Cherry to Burris, outside to Burris. Burris driving in the lane. Burris takes a step and tries the leaner, does draw the foul, and that will send her to the free throw line. Foul's on Valdez, her first, but that's the first team foul as they've reset them. Nice free throw. 58-9. And that's a long rebound. It's on the floor. Good hustle as she goes, wow, sliding into the, I would say the bench, sliding into the stands. I won't call them cheap seats, as that's courtside. That's the sliding in the spot that Jack Nicholson occupies in Lakers. Yeah, actually, I think he was behind the opponent's bench, but you get the gist. 58-9, Lady Savages, wow, and again, not relenting as these players coming off the bench, relishing an opportunity to show what they can do. And again, this is the kind of basketball they teach. It's relentless defense, creating steals, going after the ball, and being in the face of your opponent. And there's another one that is a steal. Quickly, Griffin back, bounces once, ball's ricocheting like a pinball and winds up back in the hands of Madill. And now they will slow down the pace. Looking for a shot. Now here's a drive down, low post. Good defense and a block. That was odd, but well, might have got a piece of the body or width. That was Camp defensively, and I think the block itself was clean, but I think she shuffled her hip into the shooter, and so got the foul called, and that's going to send Madill to the free throw line. Shots up, and hangs on the edge of the rim and then falls to the floor. No good. Second shot up. That one was a lane violation, so shot does not matter. And it'll be Lady Savage basketball. Quickly brought up into the forecourt. Kicked out to the wing. Out the wing. Now here's a three-point shot. Marshall and buries it. Oh, my. Sorry, that was Griffin. Anaya Griffin with her 5th point in 2 or 3 minutes of play. Nice shot. Good job passing it out to the open player, too. And I say she was open. That was a contested shot. But good elevation by Griffin and a deadly accurate as it hit nothing but net. Here's a 2-point shot, long 2-point shot, a little too long as it hits the far side of the rim and bounces back into the hands of Brokovo. Quickly down in the corner. She's going to try it again. No, feed inside to Camp, and Camp draws the foul. That was a good decision, as it looked like she might have had another open shot, but Burris saw the open Kendry Camp and fed the ball to her in the paint. Swish. Kendry Camp adding her name into the scorebook. Nice, smooth free throw. Good job drawing the foul. That's the 3rd one, by the way, on Coles, and she will take a seat on the Madill bench. Hurst comes in for the Lady Savages. Burris goes out. Nice shooting from the free throw line by Kendry Camp, 2 for 2. 63-9. Again, and putting 63 points on the board in less than 3.5 8-minute periods is an impressive display. But the most impressive thing for this Lady Savage team is this defense. It is just shut out. That looked like a block and scramble for the ball. You see how relentless it is. Oh, nice job not traveling and getting the ball to a teammate there by Madill at the other end. Goes down the baseline, kicks it back out, 3-point shot. Well, no. Kendry Camp was there. Good adjustment by Camp. Now Camp playing defense in. Nice defense as gets position. Makes the shot go off the glass and then gets the rebound, draws the foul. That's going to be Soto's first foul. Good defensive play by Camp. Here's a drive down, kicks it down in the corner as they rotate it back around to Anna. She gets double teamed. And quickly, ball stripped. Marshall had it stripped by the double team. I believe that was Valdez with the steal for the Lady Cats. Can't Brobo a favorite in this game against Madill, but boy, they had performance. Madill still in single figures with 3:24 left in the game, and there's a slip and a fall. That's going to be a tie ball, and that possession arrow is in favor of Broken Bow, so Lady Savages will inbound. Here's the thing about being a highly ranked team in Class 4A in this part of the state is that the largest school in this part of the state. Now, you have to go up to McAllister or out to like Ada or Durant to find a larger school. But it's kind of a two-edged sword because they're a 4A school, when they're playing a lower class, I say lower class as in a lower class school, but they're playing teams like Washington and Dale and Pecola and these highly ranked 2A and 3A teams. And so they are used to a level of play that would put them as, if strength of schedule were something you measured for high school, they would certainly have a high one. And here's a strip. That was a good job by Anna just getting a hand on it. Ball winds up back in the hands of the Lady Cats, however. And, just an errant pass. Officially counts as a steal, though. It's going to be Marshall, pulls up, and that's going to be a charge. Wow, that was a good job getting set. I think that's Valdez again. Valdez got both her feet, recognized, and just stood there for a beat long enough to draw the foul. So a heads-up play by the Madill defender. Gets her team the ball back with just under 2 minutes left. Drive down, cuts to the baseline, cut off down there, and still working. That's a block. I think that was Camp with the block. Now, great defense. Camp's putting on a bit of a display. Again, Camp, a very good basketball player, a very good athlete. And, again, this is kind of the same story for a lot of people that are student athletes at Broken Bow, but for being in the same position starting behind Tyson Woolsey, who's one of the best in the state, be a starter at a lot of places. I would say that that's another thing you can add to aggressive defense, and this Broken Bow Lady Savage basketball team also has quite a bit of depth. And it's on display here. Here's a drive, and that's Anna got a hand on it, but I think she's going to get called with a foul. Let's see what the call is.
That's on Broken Bow, number 20, MIA.
Yeah. And at this point, clock's just going to run. So, but this will probably be the last play, last 30 seconds. Let's see if they can. Looking to get it. It looked like it almost stolen by Broken Bow. As Lady Cats baseline move, and that's going to draw the foul. So that is going to be on Anna, I think. Nope, may have stepped on the baseline. Let's see. Was it a foul called? I don't know if they're even indicating as the clock continues to run. Coaches tell them to hurry up, and the Madill coach to get the shot off. Oh, nice inbound pass, and that's going to be a foul, and that'll send her to the free throw line with 3.6 seconds left. So depending on what happens on these free throw shots, if the second one goes in, that's likely the last shot of the game. If it doesn't, there's a chance that they could get a putback opportunity, or Broken Bow could get a rebound, and somebody can try to chunk it the full length of the court. That one rattles in and out, no good. Second shot to follow. Misses that one, and here's your opportunity. If you want it 1 point, does she get it off? Nope. That's going to do it, but what a game it was for Broken Bow. Just a great display of defense, especially in that second period when they extended a 14-7 lead by 17 and have maintained it and added to it throughout the second half. Lady Savages pick up the win over the Lady Cats. And with the boys' game to follow, as you see the Broken Bow Savages, led by Graydon Howe, already surpassed 1,500 points and has his eyes set on 2,000. Also has that team has its eyes set on getting a win today. We'll be back with that game after these messages from our sponsors. And again, thanks to these media partners, and appreciate their sponsorship of Broken Bow Lady Savages, Savage Basketball, and all Broken Bow Athletics. So we'll see you in about 10 minutes with the tip-off of the boys' game. You're watching Broken Bow Basketball on the Broken Bow YouTube channel.
At McCurtain County National Bank, we are continually seeking ways to meet the changing needs of our customers. We offer a full range of services such as free checking, online and mobile banking, as well as great rates on cabin and construction loans. We're providing results through better service while giving you a greater value for your dollar. Visit us on the web at mcnbonline.com. McCurtain County National Bank in Idabel, Broken Bow, Hochatown, and Valiant.
As Choctaw people, our past doesn't define us.
See and share our stories at togetherwe'remore.com.
Still shopping rent to own and paying way too much? Stop. There's a better way. At Washburns, 95% of applicants are approved with no credit required financing. Real furniture, real appliances. Apply now at washburns.com.
At McCurtain County National Bank, we are continually seeking ways to meet the changing needs of our customers. We offer a full range of services such as free checking, online and mobile banking, as well as great rates on cabin and construction loans. We're providing results through better service while giving you a greater value for your dollar. Visit us on the web at mcnbonline.com. McCurtain County National Bank in Idabel, Broken Bow, Hochatown, and Valiant.
Again, good afternoon, and welcome back. If you watch the Lady Savages in a dominant victory over Madill, or welcome if you're just tuning in. We're probably about a little over 7 minutes away from the tip-off of Broken Savages taking on the Madill Wildcats. Hi, Chris Chandler here, along with Michael Williston, and again, we're at a little bit different angle than we usually are because, we had some Wi-Fi problems, so we're down at one end of the gym, but does not detract from the action happening on the court. It's been a really furious paced girls game. We expect a more competitive game, but expect to see some highlights in this boys game coming up. Again, let's thank our media partners as we appreciate their sponsorship. And you see those guys right there. Huge thanks to the Broken Tiki, Downtown Broken Bow, McCurtain County National Bank, Jennifer brought us State Farm Insurance, and the Choctaw Nation Together We're More program. Appreciate their continued sponsorship of Broken Bow student athletes activities, allowing you to watch these live streams. Also, big thanks to Washburns as well in Broken Bow, Poto, DeQueen, and Mena. And I want to welcome a new sponsor here on our live stream as well. Shout out to James Hodge Auto Group. James Hodge Ford, located in Idabel, is a reputable automotive dealership known for its commitment to customer service and a diverse selection of vehicles, offering both new and pre-owned Ford models. The dealership provides a wide array of options from trucks and SUVs to sedans, catering to various preferences and needs. The knowledgeable staff is dedicated to assisting customers throughout the buying process, ensuring a seamless experience. Additionally, James Hodge Ford features an on-site service department that offers maintenance and repairs, further solidifying its role as a trusted community resource for all automotive needs. James Hodge Ford, proudly supporting our kids in 2026. Appreciate your sponsorship of this live stream. And by the way, James Hodge, a sponsor of the live stream on the Broken Bow Athletics on other channels. And I remember back from the first broadcast, it was a tape-delayed broadcast of Broken Bow Savage football, but the first time that happened back on KLOP in 1983. I watched it because I was a player on that team, and I believe James Hodge Ford was a sponsor of that. They used to say James Hodge, where the coffee pot is always on. I don't know if they still say that. I don't know if the coffee pot is still always on, but certainly appreciate their long and historic sponsorship of these athletic events in McCurtain County. And welcome to the live stream. As you see, Madill, I tell you, Madill, I've watched these guys warm up, and they are shooting pretty. There's a couple of guys out there for Madill that can shoot well from three-point range. But, again, it's in warm-up. I don't know if how well they shoot against the defense. But the defense of Broken Bow, but we will see. And Savages, on the other hand, they have Graydon Howell. They have some other seniors, and one of those guys I want to mention is Sky Baker. Again, just a tremendous young man, great athlete, great student, defines student athlete, and he is an honor graduate. They were named this week, and so Sky Baker, one of the honor graduates, one of the leaders on this team, also leader of the football team, and just a tremendous young man, and that's just the kind of character kids that they have here at Broken Bow. I appreciate the opportunity to watch him play over the last 3 or 4 years for basketball, and really looking forward to seeing him play today and for the rest of this senior season. We're still about a little over 3 minutes away from the tip-off, and so we're going to have a couple of more words from our media partners, and then we'll be back with Broken Bow taking on the Madill Wildcats. You're watching Broken Bow's Savage Basketball on the Broken Bow YouTube channel. See ya in 2.
Call Jennifer Broaddus, State Farm agent in Broken Bow today. Experience the charm of downtown Broken Bow and discover a wide variety of newly opened shops, tantalizing dining experiences, and an inviting lounge waiting to be explored. Whether you're shopping for unique finds, getting in a quick workout or sauna, or soaking in the lively atmosphere with some ice cream, our downtown area has everything you crave, completely revitalized. Embrace the excitement and let the heart of the community sweep you off your feet. Visit us today and ignite your senses in downtown Broken Bow.
Still shopping rent to own and paying way too much? Stop. There's a better way. At Washburns, 95% of applicants are approved, with no credit required financing. Real furniture, real appliances. Apply now at washburns.com.
I have found that the music that felt most important to me was a sense of being Choctaw. And I found that music that was coming out of that place felt more true to who I was. And interestingly, it felt to me that it also made more of an impact on other people.
See and share our stories at togetherwe'remore.com.
Okay. Wildcats. Starting lineup for the Wildcats today. Senior number 0, Cash Cooper. And senior number 1, Samuel Ray.
Here come the starting lineups.
And sophomore number 5, Ray Chandler.
As they announce the visiting team first. As is traditional, you see the starters for the Wildcats. And
now, ladies and gentlemen, starting lineup for the football Savages. Here's Edmonton, coached by Brian Wolfe.
here come the starters. Adrian Hightower, again, made an impact. Very young player, underclassman, but and there's Sky Baker. We mentioned the senior honor student. And there's Graydon Howe, just a junior, already surpassed 1,500 angling for 2K. There's Jackson McDaniel, added a lot to his game. And the other senior starter, A.J. Brennan. So 3 seniors on the floor to start off this ball game. And you see Hal going down and jumping up to touch the net at the other end. Again, I tell you, A.J. Brennan plays like a much taller player. You know, he's 6'1", but he just has such good positioning and so strong in the paint, especially rebounding, that let's just say he plays taller. Boxing terms, punching above his weight. Here's a spin move, and that's cut off by McDaniel and Baker. Or sorry, by Baker and McDaniel. Hightower, three-point shot on the way, and there's a sinker. I mean, that was a good shot. I said they were good in warm-up. And so they get on the board first as Rogers drills a three. And that's something, again, Savage is going to have to patrol that perimeter. As they got a couple of guys that can shoot lights out. Here's the one from about 4 feet. Wow, another three-point shot. And that's Again, that was, I don't know if you call it an open. It was an open shot, but from about 8 feet or about 6 feet behind the perimeter. So you have to get right in their face. That's going to be a little bit of a difficulty. McDaniel to Howell. Savage is still scoreless. Just 2 buckets by, and there's an open look from McDaniel from the corner and in and out. Man, unkind rim as it swirled all the way around the rim and then got spit back out. Got to say, just 2 shots made, 2 field goals by Madill, but both of them from well behind the three-point line. So there's a move to the inside, another three-point shot on the way, and that one goes right in the hands of Graydon Howe. He pushes it quickly up the floor, behind the back dribble, picks up a defender, spins around, goes in the paint, weaves between 2 other defenders, shots a little off, though, off the rim, and then tapped out into the hands of a teammate by Madill. And got McDaniel to elevate, but quick recovery by McDaniel. Denies the shot. Here's another three-pointer, and that one does not fall. McDaniel with the rebound. That got knocked out of bounds by Madill. So as Madill's going into a little bit, it's not really a press, but you see they have a guy assigned to Graydon Howe, as do a lot of teams that we play. Reminds me of sort of back in the day when Randy Rutherford played for OSU. They invented the box and one, and the one was assigned to attempt to keep Rutherford from shooting from the three-point line. That's kind of what they do with Graydon Howe. They just have a guy assigned to him and follow him around and try to deny him the ball. But he had at that time. Shot didn't fall, but he does draw the foul, and that's going to put Graydon Howe at the free throw line. G4 to his fans. And tried to get Broken Bow back on the, or not back on the board, on the board. And first one is smooth. Nice looking shot. Savages have broken the scoring ice. 5:47 left in this first period. So, and not a lot of opportunities for Broken Bow. Second shot goes off the side. No good. And is rebounded by Madill. Yeah, the Wildcats started with just 2 great shots right off the bat. From pretty far behind the three-point line. Pass out to the corner. McDaniel in the back pocket of that shooter. And this one, she shot over Baker, but hits the top of the, that's going to hits the support pole. And so that is going to be out of bounds. Will be inbounded by Broken Bow. Hightower bringing the ball up quickly to Baker. Bounce pass to Brannon, to McDaniel. McDaniel looking inside and then brings it back around top of the key. Hightower to Brannon. Brannon now dribbles. Working around. And fired. Oh, great pass down low, and that was a clean block. Wow, that was a shot by Brannon, but that was actually a clean block. Good elevation, and here's a fake, pump fake. Kick back outside. Here's another three-pointer, and that one drills it too. Man, he is dead-eye accurate. That is the 3rd three-point field goal. In fact, that's all the points for Madill have come from behind the stripe. Little reminiscent of what we saw against Idabel. Oh, great effort staying in the air by Graydon Howe as he just kind of floats between 2 defenders and gets the first field goal for Broken Bow. I was going to say, to finish that thought, similar to the start of the Idabel game when they were shooting lights out from 3 points. And there's a steal. McDaniel tips it to Howell. Howell behind the back spin move. Howell lays it in and gets the foul. Graydon Howell turning it on. And hopefully this is similar to what we saw in that Idabel game as they took an early lead off three-point shooting, but Broken Bow just steadily kept eating away at it, playing defense. Eventually that three-point shooting got cold, and the Savages did not. Graydon Howell has them within 4. I'd like to make it within 1 shot of tying the ball game. Then he does. The +1 is good. Graydon Howell has all 6 points for Broken Bow, and they only trail by 3. Moving inside through an elbow. Good reaction, and that was as it was Baker, Hightower, and McDaniel all collapsed on the person with the basketball. He had nowhere to go with it and threw it out of bounds. That was great defense by Broken Bow, creating a turnover. And now Broken Bow with an opportunity to cut it to one or tie it up with a three-point shot. Here's a pass to Brandon. Oh, bounce pass. Great job finding McDaniel under the basket. McDaniel does the rest. It's a one-point ball game. Savages have come roaring back. That was a great assist. And McDaniel, good elevation. There's a floater, no good. Rebound inside. Hightower went up and got it. And Hightower impressive. And quickly, here comes Howell. Howell kicks it out to McDaniel. McDaniel for three. Oh, a little off the mark. McDaniel came flying in from outside, trying to get his own rebound, but committed a foul. I like the aggressiveness, though. As again, McDaniel, a senior, picks up his first foul, first team foul for Broken Bow. He'll take a quick seat. But tried to get his own rebound and almost did. In fact, he did, just sort of committed a foul en route to doing it. Tomlinson in, McDaniel out. Pass down inside, turnaround, shovel pass out, and that's Great Hell's right in the face of that kid because they don't want to let 1 or 5 shoot it again. Yeah, in warm-up, these guys were drilling it from everywhere from three-point, and there's a rims in and out. Another rebound by Hightower. And Woolsey yelling to get back down the floor. Looked like a little bit of push as Hightower picks up his dribble, looking for help, gets it out to Tomlinson on the Savage head to Howell. Howell circling back around. Howell picks up his dribble, gets it out. Three-point shot on the way. Long rebound and goes out of bounds and will be Madill basketball. That was Brandon on the shot. Had a momentary good look at it. Had to release the ball quickly, but a little bit off the mark. Still a one-point ball game. 2:17 and ticking left, first period. Bounce pass. As Madill top of the key, that was a pretty good look, and he drills it. Man, they are a great three-point shooting team, and there's going to be timeout on the floor. I believe I might call one as well. Timeout on the floor. Madill leads it 12-8 off 4 three-point shots. We'll be back in 15 seconds. You are watching, or it's actually 10 seconds, you're watching Broken Bow Savage basketball on the Broken Bow Savages YouTube channel.
As Choctaw people, our past doesn't define us.
See and share our stories at togetherwe'remore.com.
Again, thanks to the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma and all our media partners. Appreciate their sponsorship and support of Broken Bow extracurricular activities. Savages are trailing the Wildcats off some great three-point shooting by Madill. We're looking to even it up, though. Here's a three-point look. Oh, in and out. Oh, good rebound inside by Tomlinson. Bounce pass. Baker drives and loses the handle, but Graydon gets it back, and Howell to the buckets. Graydon Howell with his 8th point and gets it back to a 2-point basketball game. This is exciting. This is an interesting contrast in styles. Here's another three-point shot, and that one rims in and out. Man, that rattled around inside, but Hightower quickly pushes it up the floor and then stops his dribble. It's almost stolen. He gets it to Tomlinson, to Howell. And Howell is going inside, kicks it back outside. Now it's to Tomlinson, who gets it over to, I believe that's Brandon Cho, three-pointer. That was Baker. Or that was Hightower. That was a great shot by Hightower. Now it's the Savages answering with a tray. And they take their first lead of the basketball game. 13-12, under a minute left to play, first period. There's a three-pointer contested. Hightower might have got a piece of it as he was certainly in the face of the shooter. Does go off a couple of fingertips and back into the hands of Madill, however. Good defense by Hightower. And now it's going to be trying to drive against Tomlinson. Kicks it back out. Now making a move to the corner. Baseline move. Picks up his dribble, turns it around, and just the one-hand lay-in doesn't fall. Man, Hightower is great at elevating and grabbing those rebounds at the height of his jump. It's about the 6th defensive board, and Howell with a two-stepper. Looked like he managed to release the ball and not travel, but he was off balance when he released it. That was a good bounce pass, but good reaction by Tomlinson. Defensively, there's another open three-point look. Hits the front of the rim. It's Hightower fighting for the rebound again. Now it's an open three-pointer, and that one he falls to the floor, no good. And Howell steals it. Howell with a little, I was going to say a little stutter dribble, and wow. What an exciting first period. It's a one-point ball game. Savages lead at 13-12. We'll have words from our sponsors and be back. You're watching Brokobo Savage Basketball on the Brokobo YouTube channel. Welcome back. Well, that was a furious first period, as it was initially Madill jumping out to a big lead, 6-0 lead, and then after a free throw by Graydon Howell and a two-point bucket by Graydon, jumped it to 9 and then hit 12. But Savages came roaring back. Some good rebounding inside by Adrian Hightower, and it's a good movement by the entire Savage team. Resulted in a couple other buckets, and as a result, Broombo leads 13-12 after the end of one. It was Howell with the majority of scoring with 8 points. McDaniel added 2, and then a Hightower tray brought it to 13. Here's a jump. A long jumper by Howell. A floater hits the far side of the rim and bounces back out. No good. Fouls have been reset. Not really much foul trouble for either team in that first period. Here's Hightower defensively. Almost got a hand on it. As kick it back outside. Here's a three-pointer, high rebound, and again it's, that time it's Brannon. A.J. Brannon with the rebound, quickly gets it to Graydon Howell. Back to Brannon. Brannon sees the gap, goes in, and can't get it off the glass and in. Rebound Madill. Now they're coming quick down. They're looking for a three-point shot probably, and there's a bounce pass outside. There's Wow from behind the top of the key. That one falls. Another rebound by Hightower. That's about his 6th one. Here comes Howell in traffic. Howell passes out to Hightower. Hightower from behind the arc. Hightower is shot off. Great rebound and put back by Brannon. Nice teamwork. And the quickness and elevation of A.J. Brannon gets it to a three-point Broken Bow lead. I don't know what analogies to use, but some of these games, again, these teams jumping out to big early leads. That was almost tipped by Howell, and Howell did get a hand on it there at the end, as it looked like he almost tipped it, and as the guy was going for the basket, not a foul, but Howell just kind of reached a hand, got a couple of fingers in it, and knocked the ball loose. It does go off of Howell out of bounds. Will be inbounded by Madill. Finish that thought, though. The only comparison, I think, is maybe a quarter horse and a thoroughbred, as Savages they create a travel, and so that's a turnover. But some of these other teams jump out to early leads and big early leads, like right off the bat, and then the Savages just seem to come along through the stretch and retake the lead and then hopefully hold on to it. That's been the case here in the first 10 minutes of this basketball game. Here is, I believe that's going to be Hall inside. Kicks it back outside. And now to Tomlinson on the Savage hit. Back to Baker, back to Hall. And he lets it low. Nice floater as Hall just kind of floated in midair and released it before his feet came back down and sank right through the bottom of the net. 17-12. Savages again, are guarding that perimeter. As they've got big Rylan Hanks in there as well in the paint. And there's a shot from about 5. Wow. That's another three-pointer. Man. All 15 points for Madill have come from behind the three-point arc. That's just a great display of shooting. Yeah, it was kind of, I mean, I said in the pregame, it was evident in the pregame they were lit. I said, but those are uncontested. Well, so are these because they're shooting from 6 or 8 feet behind the arc and still hitting it. Here's Hightower going driving past one defender. Hightower's shot, no good. Good rebound, turnaround by Hanks. Doesn't fall. It's tipped, can't quite get to it. And Madill winds up with the basketball. There's another three-pointer. That one's just outside the arc. Oh, wow, just came right down at the one spot. There was the Madill Wildcats. There were 4 Savages around it. Just a good positioning or lucky positioning, for that rebound as it was away from the paint, but just slightly so. Here's a pass outside. Good job Tomlinson getting out there, and then that's going to be a call for a timeout. 3:51, timeout on the floor. We're going to stay right here. Talk this over as Savages, again, came roaring back in that first period and led 13-12 at the break. And since then have been able to add a couple of field goals to it. And Madill has added 1 three-pointer. And that's the scary thing about a team like Madill is until the final minutes, you can never be ahead enough of a team that shoots extremely well from the three-point line because they can accumulate points in a very rapid fashion, especially when I say away from the three-point line, I mean like 5 or 6 feet away from the three-point line. When you have a team that's that accurate from that far away, it's just hard to guard them. And so you got to make sure you make possessions count and try to build a lead against them before they heat up again. There's a good rebound, another one by Hightower, and Howell is so quick to get down. There's a three-point shot. Wow, that was a good open look. Does not fall for Tomlinson and is rebounded by Madill. But this is a one-possession game. It's a 2-point game. 3:17 left in the half. And there's a long three-pointer, not long enough, though, and it's rebounded by Brannon. I am impressed with Brokabo's rebounding off the defensive board. Oh, nice smooth behind-the-back dribble, pull up and buried it. Graydon Howell, he's now in double figures with 10 points. His team has 19. And there's an inside low. That was an elevation and finger roll, the first 2-point field goal by the Wildcats. Here's a drive inside. Oh, wow, some showmanship as Howell went down low and brought it back up. That was Jordan-esque on that move. As it's a 4-point game, so Savages have a 2-possession lead, if you will. Still first half, but again, that ball looked like it almost was a tie ball, and here's a 3-point shot that was contested. Nice defensive effort, a great rebound by Howell as he went up and used his body to shield the defender. Pull it down. Howell in traffic lays it up off the rim and doesn't fall. Here's a quick, fast break. Tomlinson, oh, that's a wide open 3, and that one just hits through the net and hit the bottom. And Hall's at the other end. Hall trying to float it in. Hall with another, that was just like his other shot. Dejon Hall with a repeat of his previous point. And Bromo now up by 6. As Savages guarding that perimeter. And that was Tomlinson defensive work. Oh, that was Hall with a good rebound on that one. Gets it to Howell. Howell pushing it up the floor. Watch out. Here comes Howell in traffic. And he decides to back out and set up his offense. Howell making a move. Howell with a leaner, fights for the rebound, doesn't get it. Clock's now at 1 minute. Savages 23, Madill 17. Savage has done a good job curtailing that three-point shooting. Only one three-pointer in the second period. And as I say that, well, that would look like a good look. But here's Howell. Watch out. Howell accelerates past one defender and just eludes another one. He is so quick. Gets another two-point bucket. 8-point lead for Broken Bow. And look like Madill slowly bring it up. They may work for the last shot on this one. Although I don't know. The way they shoot three-pointers, if they have an open look from 30 feet away, they may take it. 24 seconds. Pass inside, and Brannon doing defensive work. Oh, that was a move inside. Doesn't work. Good AJ with a rebound. Savages now have it with 15 seconds left. Here's Graydon Howell with a spin move inside. Turning back around, lays it up off the glass, doesn't fall. And so 6 seconds, watch out. You're going to see a pull-up and a three-point shot maybe. Oh, wow, that's a three-pointer on the way, and it doesn't make it. So Savages now up by 8, 25-17 as they go into the half and talk about what they're going to do. Maybe see some adjustments in the second half. We don't know, but Savages, nice comeback after just leading by 1 at the quarter break. They have extended it by 7. 25-17 is your score. We'll have these words from our sponsors and be back with second half action. You're watching Broken Bow Savage Basketball on the Broken Bow YouTube channel.
At McCurtain County National Bank, we are continually seeking ways to meet the changing needs of our customers. We offer a full range of services such as free checking, online and mobile banking, as well as great rates on cabin and construction loans. We're providing results through better service while giving you a greater value for your dollar. Visit us on the web at mcnbonline.com. McCurtain County National Bank in Idabel, Broken Bow, Hochatown, and Valiant.
Call Jennifer Broaddus, State Farm agent in Broken Bow today.
Welcome back. Savage Dance Team is going to perform at halftime, so we will bring you that. This should be fun to watch. Enjoy. we're about a minute and a half away from tip-off the second half. A really competitive ball game featuring, inside and outside, just great all-around play and fantastic rebounding by Broken Bow and some stellar three-point shooting by Madill. So see what kind of adjustments they made at halftime and how those things work out. Again, a huge thanks to our media partners, Broken Tiki, Downtown, Broken Bow, McCurtain County National Bank, Jennifer brought us State Farm Insurance, and the Choctaw Nation Together We're More program. Certainly appreciate their sponsorship and continued support of Broken Bow Athletics, allowing you to watch these. Also, big welcome to James Hodge Auto Group, Hodge Auto Group. Appreciate their sponsorship, along with Washburn's, another sponsor for basketball season. Also, want to thank all of our banner sponsors, which you will see in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Again, if you see these businesses, thank them, tell them how much you appreciate being able to watch these games anytime, and how much you, by the way, it's both live and on tape. They will be on the Broken Bow Savages YouTube channel. You can go back and watch 2 seasons ago if you want to. So it's nice, not just for now, but also documenting them for posterity. Thanks for those. Again, the game's brought to you in part by IC Fitness, Crystal Forest Venues and Cottages, and James Hodge Ford, along with Oklahoma. Appreciate their continued sponsorship as banner sponsors as well. About to tip off this second half. It was another great half of scoring for Graydon Howell of Broken Bow. Continues along near his season average if you extrapolate that from his halftime scoring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2-pointers and 2 free throws. So 14 points for Graydon in that first half, leading all scorers. And as a result, his team leads by 8. It's going to be the Wildcats, though, with the ball to start off this second half. As they fired inside, and does not fall. That's a rebound by McDaniel. And McDaniel turned around. You might have saw Woolsey, Coach Ryan Woolsey, a little frustrated there and voicing that verbally, like, get across the half-court line. Anyway, here's a takeaway. Oh, wow, just pulled it out of the hands of Brennan. Savage is trying to get it back, and unsuccessful in doing so. It looked like they're going to go inside, and that is a successful trip driving. So a little bit different as they put pressure in the backcourt, and here comes Graydon Howell dribbling off the dribble, crossover in. Oh, wow! Howell just, he doesn't get it to fall. And you see the ref helping him up as he went to the floor there. But it looks like that's a second paint point. It looks like the adjustment by Madill has been to stop just shooting from outside, try to get points in the paint, and they have. They have successfully scored 2 field goals on 3 possessions. Here's McDaniel. Decided not to shoot the tray. And back to Howell. Howell pulls up. Howell with the jumper, smooth as silk and through the silk. First score for Broken Bow the second half. Back to a 6-point game, 27-21. That's Howell's 16th point. And I have a feeling Madill's talking about driving in the paint to loosen up the perimeter play of Broken Bow. Here's a fight for the rebound. That fight was won by Madill. Here's kick down, baseline move, and good defense down inside. I think that was Hightower or Baker. It was Baker, and prevented an easy shot and an easy point. Here's Howell for 2, does not fall from the free throw line. Rebound Madill. Again, the pace of this is just furious. There's another shot outside, and that's going to go in the hands of Howell for the rebound. But we saw 3 shots in succession, about 12 seconds apart. Here's McDaniel with a 4th one. That one, oh man, just off the rim. Rolled, hit the little bit short, hit the front of the rim, or the front side to McDaniel, this near side, and then went off. Here's a 3-pointer, no good. Rebound inside. It's going to be Hightower. Hightower lets it dry. He thought he was going to pick up the foul because there was contact and not called. A bounce pass, and Howell makes the defensive adjustment. There's a 2-point, another paint point. That's 3 buckets in the paint to start off the second half by Madill. as Hal's now getting pressure in the backcourt, looking for help, and that was, again, Hal had to get rid of it as he'd left his feet. But maybe count that as you come back and help him because he had no choice but to throw it across the line. Ball's knocked out by Madill, though, will be inbounded by Jackson McDaniel. As Hightower's out and Hall is in, and that was maybe an errant pass by Baker, and that's a block. It looked like a block by McDaniel, a partial block. Rebound by Brannon. Brannon loops it. Oh, little miscommunication as Sky Baker was cutting across toward the basket, and Brannon threw it to this near corner, thinking maybe the three-point shooter was headed there. So a miscommunication as head coach Ryan Woolsey with his hands on his hips at the scorer's table. 4-point game as the Wildcats have cut that halftime lead in half in the first 3.5 minutes of this third period. Savage is going to have to adjust. There's a baseline move again, looking for points in the paint. That was still. That was knocked loose. Here comes Graydon Howell. A 1-on-3, but the one is Graydon Howell, and he lays it off the glass and in. He is so quick. Savage is quickly back on defense. 3-point back to the first half. And that's going to go off the hands, I believe, of Madill and be inbounded by Broken Bow. As the Wildcats tried a three-pointer. Did not fall for them. Now looks like they're going to have a little bit of a press in the backcourt. And look like it works for them as the ball is dribbled out of bounds, and so that's going to be a turnover. Six-point ball game. A lot of time left. Still almost 4 minutes in the third period. Here's a three-point shot, and that falls right into the hands of Jackson McDaniel as he quickly gets it to Hall. Hall brings it across the half-court line. Hall driving, and Hall looked like that was waved off. Looked like he drew the foul. DeJohn Hall knew he was going to get fouled as when he drove, he looked like a fullback. He grabbed the ball between both forearms when he left the floor. And the result was as he predicted. That's going to be the first team foul by either team in this third period. Here's Baker bouncing, going to the wing to Hall. Hall looking to make a move. Hall dribbling in trouble, and he does take when I say dribbling in trouble, is he'd already taken the ball off the floor and taken a step. So when that second foot came down, that's traveling. Oh, there's a three-point shot. It's on a good line, but not far enough. Hits the front of the rim and into the hands of Graydon Howell. And Howell with a fall-away jumper. That was off the glass, no good. And Howell tried to steal it back. Watch out as they try to float it in the paint. No good. Good rebound. McDaniel reaches up and pulls it down. Now McDaniel's double team, needs a little help. Gets it to Howell. Howell quickly brings it across the half-court line. Howell gets shoved. Look at that. That went in. It doesn't count. But Howell got an elbow at about the three-point line, took a step and then elevated, and before he put that second foot down, laid it off the glass and in. Does not count, and it's not a shooting foul, but nonetheless, a display of skill by Graydon Howell. Ball will be inbounded by Jackson McDaniel. High inbound to Brannon, hands it to Howell at the free throw line. Howell through a defender and right off the glass and in. Graydon Howell seeming to score at will. Has his team back up by 8. That was the lead at half. Bounce pass in the paint. Stolen by McDaniel. Quickly hands it to Howell. Howell behind the back, spin around. Bounce pass out to McDaniel on the wing. McDaniel brings it in the paint. McDaniel fighting. McDaniel off the glass and in. Jackson McDaniel just muscles through a defender and through the foul, lays it off the glass. He went strong to the hole and gets the bucket and the foul. That's something that McDaniel, he added at the second half of last season. He was an outside shooter. He usually didn't drive, and he has added that to his game, and it's a great addition. In front of the rim, oh, wow, and Brandon got a hand on it, even though he did not have position, but couldn't bring it down. There's a three-point. That's an open three-point look, and that is he buries it. Here comes Graydon Howe between two defenders with a spin move, and it's Graydon Howe versus the world. Graydon Howe somehow spins between two defenders and leaps over and then under three more, lays it off the glass and draws the foul. Wow. Just a phenomenal display of talent. Smooth free throw, the +1, and all of a sudden it's the Savages by 10. Largest lead of the game by either team, thanks to the wizardry of Graydon Howe. Here's a pass outside. Madill looking to equalize. Got it in the paint, turnaround move, and that was blocked. Wow. And that's going to be a tie ball. And so the possession arrow in favor of Broken Bow. As the ball temporarily defies gravity, just kind of sticks there between the rim and the glass. But that's going to turn it over. Last 90 seconds of the third period. Savages up by 10, looking to extend that. Out to Tomlinson on the wing, looking inside to Brennan. Now Tomlinson brings it, picks up his dribble, looking for help, gets it to Brannon. Brannon brings it back. Brannon's got a guy all over him, makes a move toward the bucket. Brannon! A.J. Brannon! He went one way. The defender over-adjusted, and Brannon just muscles his way up and lays it off the glass. 12-point lead for Broken Bow. And inside, great defense. That was a great effort because that was pretty good defense by McDaniel. But just Madill brought the ball back down and then managed to lay it back up. Oh, errant pass or miscommunication. Turnover by Broken Bow. Here comes Madill on the attack. Looking in paint. Oh, nice quick hand by McDaniel. Knocks it loose. And Howell manages to keep the dribble. Graydon Howe with the finger roll. Doesn't fall. 30 seconds left. Going back the other way, a 3-on-3 break. And that's going to be 2 points for Madill. Savages going to have the ball. They cut the lead back to 8, by the way. But Savages may take the opportunity of the final shot of the game unless something else presents itself. 10 seconds approaching. Now under 10. Graydon Howe with the basketball, and we may see a Graydon Howe drive or addition at three-pointer. No, we're going to see Graydon go into the basket and somehow doesn't fall for him, and that's going to do it. After 3 periods of play, Savages 38, Madill 30. We'll be back with a final 8 minutes of basketball after this word from our sponsors. You're watching Broken Bow Savage Basketball on the Broken Bow Network.
Experience the charm of downtown Broken Bow and discover a wide variety of newly opened shops, tantalizing dining experiences, and an inviting lounge waiting to be explored. Whether you're shopping for unique finds, getting in a quick workout or sauna, or soaking in the lively atmosphere with some ice cream, our downtown area has everything you crave, completely revitalized. Embrace the excitement and let the heart of the community sweep you off your feet. Visit us today and ignite your senses in downtown Broken Bow.
Welcome back. 38-30. Bit of a, I'd say it's a tight game. And it's an 8-point lead, but in this kind of game with the 3-point shooting ability of Madill, it's still a tight game because they can get hot and erase that lead quickly. Savages just need to maintain, try to expand it, and control the ball in this final period. Again, thanks to James Hodge Auto Group. Appreciate their sponsorship, joining us as a new sponsor. And again, a shout out to all our sponsors and media partners. Make sure and thank them if you see them. Washburn's also a recent addition to our sponsored list, in Broken Bow, Poto, DeQueen, and Mena, all locations. Here comes Madill on the attack, trying to race this lead. Here's a three-pointer. Man, that's a good-looking line, but it does not go through the hole. Nice rebound by Brennan. And now it's McDaniel bringing the basketball down. McDaniel driving. McDaniel, oh, nice wraparound pass. And a good finish by Hall. Give McDaniel an assist. Or not Hall, Brennan. Give Brennan a bucket. Give McDaniel an assist. And now it's a turnover as Howell runs up with the basketball. He's being stalked. Howell with the pass, and that goes off the quick hand, I think, by one of the defenders. Oh, wow, that was a fast break. Good hustle by Brandon to try to get down there defensively. Just not enough time to do it, and so it's back to an 8-point game. McDaniel on the far wing. McDaniel pulls up and shoots a tray. Doesn't hit, falls and hits the floor. No one in position for rebound. 7 minutes left. Savage is up by 8, down low, and he can't go under the basket. Wow, Graydon Howell just reversed his dribble. Stopped on a dime. And now it's Hall to McDaniel. McDaniel to Baker. And Baker looking for help, gets it outside to Brennan. Brennan driving inside. Brennan picks up a double team. That was a foul as they slashed Brennan's arms. First foul of this final period. And so Broken Bow will inbound. I want to mention Broken Bow also has the possession arrow in its favor. May be a factor. Hopefully won't be. If they can maintain somewhere near this 8-point lead, it will not be a factor. And maybe comforting just the same. Oh, pass quickly to Howell, to Hall. Three-point shot. Brannon, front of the rim, fight for the rebound. A tap. Oh, nice save by Hall. Gets it to Baker. Now back to Hall. Savages maintain possession, and it's Hall with the floater. Hall, oh, wow. And the foul. DeJohn Hall goes airborne, gets the bucket, and gets a trip to the free throw line. That's his 6th point. All 3 buckets were 2-pointers. Now an opportunity to add a free throw to that. And he gets Broken Bow back up to a 10-point lead, 42-32. DeJohn Hall, and true from the free throw line as well, another +1. That's a third +1 of the night. Howell with 2, Hall with 1. And so Savages now with their biggest lead of the night by 11 points. Playing the way they need to play down the stretch. There's a pass outside, and Jackson McDaniel is in his face from 30 feet. They're not going to try not to get any look, and I think McDaniel got a piece of that, a partial block. Ball still live for Madill, and that was a great leaner as he just scooped and scored. Timeout on the floor. We're going to stay right here, talk about this game. As it's back to a 9-point game. One way to look at it is a 3-possession game. And that's if all 3 of those possessions wind up ending in 3-pointers for Madill, and they can somehow manage to hold Broken Bow scoreless, get rebounds or whatever. But this is, again, we talked about it, but this is the type of team that can do that. Madill came out shooting lights out in the first period as they hit 4 trays, 3 of them right off the bat. Well, 2 of them in succession. They led 6-0 about a minute and a half into the game. But and at one point they had 15 points all from behind the perimeter. Came out in the second half and looked like they were either playing to get in the paint and score from the paint or trying to use paint scoring as a distraction to get Broken Bow to ease up on that perimeter defense. But the Savages have managed to create some turnovers and take advantage of fast break. And I say fast break, it's not like it's open. It's Graydon Howell driving in the paint and weaving between 3 defenders. That's, I guess, over the last 3 years in the Broken Bow basketball book, that is counted as a fast break because Howell is so good at that particular skill. Well, at many skills, but he just seems to slice through defenders like a hot knife through butter. Now it's McDaniel getting it to Howell. Savage has talked it over and maybe talking about and that looks like what they've been coached to do is like don't drive in to shoot unless you see an obvious try to bleed some time off the clock. You've got a 9-point lead. That's exactly what they're doing. Well-coached team and disciplined team listening to their coaching at this point. Here comes McDaniel. Got a little shove there. Nothing too bad and not enough to call a foul. Here's Hall, and he backs it. He doesn't drive in. Yeah, that's, again, taking time off the clock. Now he sees, oh, wow, it's DeJohn Hall, but it does not fall. Man, it rattled around as he had to bring it back to avoid a block and then late released it. Had a chance to go in, and oh, no, man, I thought he must have got him on the follow-through. That was a clean block on the ball by McDaniel, but after he hit the ball, he hit the body with a hand, and so that will send Madill to the free throw line. 9-point game, opportunity for them to cut it to 7. Still be 3 possessions. Not quite at that point yet, though. Still 5:01 left as the first free throw is straight and true and makes it an 8-point lead. That's what it was at half. 25-17. Well, actually half and the quarter break. It's 38-30 at the half, and now it's down to 7. And the press is on. But Graydon Howell has the basketball. He quickly draws a third defender and a foul. And that's going to be the 4th team foul. So, 4th. Oh, no, it wasn't a foul. It was kicking the basketball. Never mind. But, so just 3 team fouls. McDaniel, long inbound pass across the court to Baker. And now Graydon Howell to Jackson McDaniel. Jackson. Bounce pass, Howell inside, and does not fall. That was a great pass by McDaniel. Just Howell laid it off the glass, and then it bounced twice on the rim and did not have the right rotation, fell off the wrong side of the rim onto the floor. And they're looking for quick points. Here's a three-pointer, man, and that's deadly. There is Madill. They've cut it to a 4-point game. Here comes Hall quickly into forecourt, and Hall with the leaner, and it doesn't fall. And now Madill has an opportunity to make it a 1-point game. Or any field goal makes it a 1 possession. Oh, a steal, an errant pass. And that's going to be A.J. Brannon on the break. Brannon with the lay off the glass and in. A.J. Brannon gets it back to 6. Technically a steal and a points-off turnover. And there's another steal. Brannon, well, almost. Brannon went after it that time, and Brannon stick-to-itiveness gets it. Wow, good hustle by A.J. Brannon. Savages have 2 straight turnovers. Here's Graydon Howell muscling his way, gets his own rebound, and the putback. Tips it back in. Savages back to an 8-point lead. That was a great response after being cut to a 4-point game. Savages respond with 2 turnovers and 2 great plays by Brannon and Howell, respectively. Here's a 3-pointer. That's going to be a high rebound. It hits the bottom of the scoreboard. That'll be out of bounds. And so will be Savage basketball. Nice response as Hall goes out. Tomlinson comes in for Broken Bow. Foul-wise, Wildcats have 3. They can give 1 more before sending Broken Bow to the free throw line. Savages only have 1 team foul. Here's Tomlinson. Gets it to Howell. Howell to McDaniel across the half-court line. Back to Howell. Howell driving. Howell floating. Howell got that was a clean block. That actually was a block shot. And so now it's Howell defensively. Now Brannon defensively. And a long shot. There's a good look from 3 points, and that's way off. That's a long shot. Now to McDaniel. McDaniel hurrying. McDaniel wise. That's a smart play by the senior, and the timeout's called. But instead of trying to drive in, he slowed it down, bleed more time off the clock. And so Savages have the ball, have the possession arrow in their favor, and have an 8-point lead with 2:41 left. We're going to stay right here, talk things over. This has been an exciting exciting day of basketball. Still afternoon. It is chilly outside. See the large American flag flying through the windows over there. And but again, Lady Savage is just a huge dominant game as they won 63-9. And, of course, a heavy favorite. But this is Savage is probably a favorite in this game, but just a slight one, and have performed very well down the stretch after giving up an early lead to Madill. Madill talking it over, and they are going to be probably using that three-point shooting skill, or trying to use it to narrow this game down and have a chance of winning at the end. But first, they have to get the ball back from Broken Bow. Savages did a good job bleeding time off the clock last time. And there's going to be a steal, though, off the inbound pass, and it falls. Wow, 6-point game. Press is on, and so Savage is going to have to be careful with the basketball, and that looked like a foul as Hightower got bumped. And pass out to McDaniel. He drives in, lays it up. Oh, Jackson McDaniel looked like he was going straight to the basket, lays it off to his left hand, and he actually scored with his left hand laying it in. Nice move by McDaniel. Back to 8-point game. Ball goes out of bounds, and that's going to be out on Broken Bow. But McDaniel floating in midair instead of trying to just go straight in, laid it off to the other hand, and with a little flick of the wrist, sent it through the bottom of the net. 2:07 left. And this is going to be a long 2 minutes and 7 seconds, as expect to see at least at the first, unless the Savages can force a couple of turnovers to get a couple of easy points. Although I don't know if Broken Bow is actually going to go toward the basket if they get the ball back, unless they just have a wide open shot. As the clock is now their very good friend for the time being, and there's a going down low with the hook up off the glass between two defenders. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick one as well and then be back. You're watching Broken Bow's Savage Basketball on the Broken Bow YouTube channel. See you in a minute.
Still shopping rent to own and paying way too much? Stop. There's a better way. At Washburns, 95% of applicants are approved with no credit required financing. Real furniture, real appliances. Apply now at washburns.com.
Well, the Savages, all smiles, at least on the bench over there, as they have played well down the stretch here. Again, Chris Chandler here with Micah Williston, and we really enjoyed these games. This one has turned out to be a bit of a thriller, as two teams with varying skill levels. And when I say varying skill levels, I mean, I should say varying levels in different skills, as again, Madill, a great three-point shooting team, came out strong. Savage is able to tone that down and play good defense. Again, that does get hot and cold, that kind of shooting. Graydon Howell is a constant, though, is his ability to slash through the paint, drive, and somehow elevate and get the ball to fall through the hole is pretty much a wide open look for Dejon Hall, and an easy two-pointer. That was a pass. That was a full court pass, and that was probably a called play. They might have told Dejon do the fly route, as he was probably receiver one on the football team, and that was a completion, good for the two-point conversion, and it also gets the Savages past the 50-point mark and back up by 8. Savages looking to maybe get a steal or at least not give up any kind of easy three-pointer. Brennan defensively right in the face, and there's a three-pointer, kind of an open look, and that one falls, and that's an over-the-back call. Again, there's not a penalty, there's not a foul that is, quote, over the back, but it's just contact. When you reach over somebody's back and come back down on top of them, that's a defensive foul, and that's a foul, not a defensive foul, but it's a foul on the rebound, and so good positioning by Tomlinson forces them to foul. That's their fourth foul, so they can't really foul Broken Bow without sending him to the free throw line. Here comes Brandon weaving between traffic. He's not going to shoot it, though. Wisely gets it back out. Clock is ticking down to the last 70 seconds as, again, to Hall. Hall handling the basketball. Hall shovel pass, and good job doing, let's call it the 1-minute drill. Here's Howell in traffic. Howell somehow is fighting and somehow manages to not get the ball tied up, and Savages call timeout. And he is so quick. That was good job, as the Savages have retained possession of the basketball, bled 20 seconds off the clock, and have not turned it over. Although Madill has not yet fouled Broken Bow. And here's the thing from their view. As I mentioned, it's a 3-possession game. So, in other words, if Broken Bow scores no points for the rest of the game and Madill somehow manages to get the ball and score, it would take them 3 possessions to actually even tie it up. They could go ahead if all 3 possessions right now ended in 3-point shots. As they trail by 8, they would add 9, and it would be 52-51. But if they foul Broken Bow, they send the Savages to the free throw line. If Broken Bow makes both free throws, it's a 4-possession game, because then it would be a 10-point game, which would require, unless you have a 3-point plus one, which is possible. We've seen that before, but it would take 4 possessions without Broken Bow scoring in order for Madill to win. So they were reluctant to intentionally foul Broken Bow, hoping instead for an errant pass or to get a tie ball, and that would just switch the possession arrow, and that's why it's important the possession arrow is in Broken Bow's favor, at least according to the light on the scorer's table. And so you probably will see that if this clock gets down to about 45, you'll probably see them intentionally foul Broken Bow, but it's who they want to foul too. So here's to Tomlinson to Hall, and back to Tomlinson, and McDaniel standing over here wide open, and he's going to run and take the ball back, and now he's intentionally fouled just under 44 seconds. That's going to send Jackson McDaniel to the free throw line. That was well executed by Broken Bow, exactly as they were coached to do and as they discussed on the bench. And so they managed to bleed another 12 seconds off the clock and get a trip to the free throw line. Really important for McDaniel to make one of these two. First one, that is good. So it is now a 3-possession game, but all 3 have to be 9. If he sinks the second one, it's a 4-possession game. Savage, and if he sinks the second one, expect some quick 3-point shots. And that one does not fall, however. And so Madill probably going to go down, have one pass, and then shoot it. No, it's a 2-point shot. And he does get the foul called, but that's going to send him to the free throw line. I think that's the second one on Howell. Nope, sorry, that's on Hall. Not Howell, his first. 3rd team foul on the Savages. Wasn't the act of shooting, though, so he does get to shoot. So from Dill, they probably want to make the first one and intentionally miss the second one because, and they do make the first one. Savages get a rebound here. Expect a quick foul and another trip to the free throw line, unless they designate Hall as, to sprint downfield and try to get a 2-pointer. Nope. It's Hall with rebound, quickly gets it to Howell, and yeah, that may be it. They kind of realize that it may not send no, they somehow steal the ball back and get another 2-pointer, 25 seconds. Wow. The double team on Howell results in a turnover. Nobody else was back there behind the line with him, but it's back to a 6-point game with 24.7 seconds. This is getting interesting. So now, again, Savages are in the bonus. Any foul will send them to the free throw line. Madill, Savages have 1 to give without sending them, as they only have 3 team fouls. I'm not sure, and I didn't see anybody on Madill with 4 fouls. I'm not sure if any of them have 3. They've managed to spread those fouls out pretty evenly among the team. So, yeah, it's going to come down to if Broken Bow can get this ball. And they probably won't. Here's the thing is they won't intentionally. I doubt they'll intentionally foul Broken Bow until the Savages get the ball past the half-court line. And so hoping instead for either a turnover like that last possession or a time violation. But Savages may see a wide open, and it's going to be look at Hall sprinting down. And they do foul him in the backcourt. That's Tomlinson. But they sent Hall down on the fly route, and this time he had a defensive back covering him. Madill sit number 0, step for step with Hall to prevent another easy lay-in. So 22.6 seconds left. 2-possession games, so it really pressures on Tomlinson to make one of these. Oh, first one not so good. But again, just one makes it a 7-point game. That's a 3-possession game. And again, you expect to see Brandon in on trying to fight for this rebound if it doesn't go through, too. Nope. Nice shooting from Tomlinson. And now it's you just don't want to foul them from behind the 3-point line. Spin around, move, floater, no good. Ball's on the ground. That's going to do it probably. McDaniel picks it up, and he gets fouled. That'll send him to the free throw line. But now it's maybe academic as Savages have a 7-point lead, can extend it to 9, just 12.7 seconds. Although, again, that's why they play the games. Things do happen, but McDaniel will be alone at the line. Oh, nice. So the body language of McDaniel put a little English on it, and it rolled around The force was with him, and it rolled through the bottom of the hole. And so now Savages lead by 8 and 9. Nice shooting by Jackson McDaniel. Puts the icing on this victory for Broken Bow. There's the three-pointer, and that'll probably go in. I say if it's true to the form of Madill, it's going to sink it. But Savages could just let the clock expire and walk away with the win. Well, great game between Madill and Broken Bow. You see the players talking. They know they were both in it at times. And nice display of basketball for the fans. Well, Savages pick up another W, and McDill, well, again, they get a loss, but they played for every minute of that, every second of that basketball game, and had a chance there until the very, very end. Well, it's been a great Saturday for basketball. Savages and Lady Savages walk away with a pair of wins, and so they'll be back in action. But they'll be back in the tournament next week. But we are going to bring you something different on this channel. So we will be bringing you the semifinal games on Thursday night on this YouTube channel of the MC6 tournament in the girls bracket, and the semifinals of the boys games on Friday night of the MC6 tournament. Broken Bow doesn't play in that, but all the other than Broken Bow and Idabel, the other McCurtain County schools other than Eagletown playing along with Fort Townsend, Rattan, and Antlers. And then we will bring you the third place games and the championships of the MC6 on Saturday. So 3 days of basketball slated here on the Broken Bow Savage YouTube channel. Not involving, well, I guess it's involving Broken Bow because it's in this facility. Broken Bow hosted as a neutral site. But hopefully we'll see you then, and then see you back for more Savage basketball after that. On behalf of Michael Williston, thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Chandler. We will see you next week. Good night.
This is my time, I'm on the rise.